Welcome to Washington Square News. This is Op-Ed Live, and it's our final one of the semester, so thank you for joining. I'm joined today by Editor-in-Chief of the newspaper, Nicole Brown, and Managing Editor Michael Domanico. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. So let's talk about the state of journalism at NYU or otherwise. And I think an argument that people are having, that journalists are having all across the country is print v. online. So I know you guys disagree on this, so make your cases. Nicole, your heart's with print.
My heart is with print. I think I just have a sort of personal attachment to print. I think that it's really cool to have a physical copy of the hard work that we do every night, and being able to see it in print is just a lot more exciting to me, and I think some other people than just looking online. And having it all together each day. We have 8 pages of really hard, excellent work. And being able to pick that up every day is really amazing to me.
Michael, online?
Yeah, so for me, if we're trying to train student journalists to be the next generation of journalists, we should really be focusing on online only, because when these students graduate, the reality is that a lot of them will be working in online only or multimedia or something that's more conducive to online journalism. So if we're trying to train people, that's what our focus should really be on.
Nicole, can you make a non-emotional appeal for print? Because that's print is like, it's nice, it's warm, it's comforting, but what else?
For us, currently, right now, we couldn't really afford to not have a print paper. The majority of our revenue comes from print ads, and if we cut back on that, we would lose a lot of advertisers, and the ads on our website are just not as profitable. So in the state that we are right now, it would be very challenging to suddenly switch to online only. I do think that there should be some progression towards eventually becoming that, but I don't see that happening in the near future.
But if we move toward online, I think we could restore focus to our content. Because now there's so much. You can explain. There's so much that goes into print that we can't really focus on.
Yeah. So right now,
the articles as much.
Yeah, the way we run production is we create a print paper and then we post all of the articles online. That's how our mindset is. Instead of looking at the stories that we're planning to run and saying, how can we make this more exciting for an online audience? So right now, we're focusing on, okay, how many inches do we have in print? Do we have a photo? Okay, that's good. That's how we're going to shape everything. Instead of looking at content and saying, how can we add a multimedia gallery? How can we have a video? How can we have an interactive graphic so that the online audience can really engage with our content?
What do you think, if we got rid of print, what do you think that would mean for journalism at NYU?
I think
we're a respectable journalism school.
We wouldn't have any school newspaper, and to some people that might not matter. They might not care about the school newspaper, but I think that it would hurt us because we are a nationally recognized print newspaper, and we put a lot of hard work into this, and I think that it shows for it. And one thing that I would say that if we are going towards the online is that we just would have to keep the same standards that we have for print in every piece that we publish, and that there is more of a risk of making mistakes, publishing things too quickly, because there's that instant publish button, and that we would just have to be careful with that. So I think what we would lose is something very substantial that we can hold and show for all our hard work. But I don't think we would really be damaging what we do and the content that we produce.
Columbia's Spectator I think there's a proposal for them to go become a weekly. They're daily now, and they're going to commit to their online publication. You think that could be a solution? We just once a week we print, and the rest is an online focus.
Yeah, so that for me I think is really exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's a really exciting time to be a journalist. I know that print might not be doing as well, but online content is doing really well. So I think that Columbia has the right idea in saying we can make a weekly paper because this is a skill that you might need for the next few years when you graduate, perhaps. But what you really do need is to focus on online and getting content to people as soon as possible, instead of just saying, okay, we can work on the story and then it'll be in print the next day, the next day.
The expediency of online is great.
Yeah.
Michael, could you go ahead? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think that what we need to do now, because of the way that we have been established and that we function right now, it's just not feasible for us to lose the print, even just going to once a week. But what we need to do now in anticipation for that, I don't think we should be left behind in not focus on the website. I think we need to start thinking more website first, then print, and that's gonna have to develop over time, and we're gonna have to really work on that because, like you said, we cut stories because we need them to fit in a certain space, and I don't think that's the greatest way to cut a story. But so what we have to work on as a staff is putting those articles online first and then fitting them into the paper, publishing the next day, but maybe they're already published online, like we do need to get in the mindset of putting it up first where people are going to see it the most.
Which is really hard to do when you're focusing on a 2 a.m. deadline and you're creating an 8-page paper that honestly not that many students are picking up.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, but print school, because you lose that. I mean, print school, we have that, like the camaraderie of the staff, and everyone's up and working on it, and it's fun, but you would lose that.
And I will say that I think that more students have picked up the paper in recent years than they did,
Yeah, I think so.
in a
I mean, we
few
just
years
reached
back.
7,000 Twitter followers.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
there you go.
online again. That's
Online now,
But-
yeah.
But we still do publish like an issue of the PDF file of our print paper,
Mhm.
and I think that has also gained a little bit more attention where people are seeing the design and everything that is in the print form online, which I think is kind of cool still to have that as well, and it gives you a better visual than just having the list of stories on a website.
What's coming up for WSN in the next semester?
For WSN, I think that we're hoping to create more of a web team that can really look at the content that we're going to run and create those ideas and say, this is what we're going to do for web, and this is how we're going to engage an online audience. So I think that's where we're heading. I think it's hard because we still will have a daily print paper, and it's impossible to get out of the fact that you have a 2 a.m. deadline every single night. But I think that we'll slowly start to shift to creating a better web team.
It's an exciting time, here and for all journalists everywhere. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.